Hi guys, today I wanted to do a reaction to the Vampire Diaries finale, the whole last season kind of, that I want to talk about. Most of you know if you're on my channel normally, I'm obsessed with TV. I've watched way too many shows and I get way too emotionally involved in all of them. Vampire Diaries is something I started watching probably when they were on their 3rd season and I caught up on Netflix and I just fell in love with it. I've been Team Delena since the beginning. Before Damon and Elena were even remotely ever a thing, I was so with them. I wanted them to work out. Stefan is not my type at all. It's kind of like every other show I watch, I'm always team of the guy who like is supposed to be the bad guy but really is a good guy. If you're pro Stefan, I'm not against really Stefan. He always did what Elena wanted him to do and Damon was like, okay, I get that, but I'd rather save your life and actually make a difference. And he always does the right thing, yet everyone always blames him and all the stuff that he does, his idea, but then Stefan gets the hero status. It's annoying. There's just a lot of stuff to talk about. Obviously, if you haven't seen the finale and like the whole last season, don't watch this because 100% spoilers. This is a discussion for people who have seen it. I thought I'd wait a little bit from the day that it aired because obviously some people, you know, don't care as much as me and they watch it on the DVR, not live. But this show has been just so insane. This is the kind of show that just so much happens. So there's obviously a lot to talk about. But my first reaction is just, I didn't like knowing this was the final season. And I get that nowadays, that's just what happens. People want to know on social media and stuff. That's fine, whatever. But I don't know, like I feel like this show, I'd so much rather be surprised by things. I mean, I remember watching Charm back in the day when it was coming on. During the last season, I'm pretty sure we didn't know it was gonna be the last season. When people die on shows in the past, you know, we didn't know it was coming, you know, we didn't know the actor was leaving the show always. I get it, you know, you want to kind of wrap things up in a nice pretty bow, but you have to stretch that out a little bit more. I felt like Vampire Diaries still felt rushed, even though from the beginning we knew it was the last season, which is what was kind of like a drawback for me. Maybe it's because I've been so obsessed with TV since a young age, so I like being completely encapsulated by the show and I don't want to know things outside of it. When Elena was leaving the show, like when Nina was leaving the show, I guess I should say, she announced it and I didn't like that. I guess she wanted to share it with her fans so they wouldn't really be heartbroken when it happened and, you know, so that when it did happen we would know she's actually leaving, she's not coming back. I mean, I get it, I do, but I don't know if you're with me or not. Obviously some people prefer to know separately, but I didn't. I feel like once we knew there was 4 episodes left to like have this happen, so now during these 4 episodes that's what we're focusing on. We're focusing on, okay, so how is she gonna die? Is she gonna die? Is she gonna leave? Is it gonna be open-ended? We're just so focused on that so that when, you know, that episode happened where everyone was saying goodbye to her, it just felt so forced and I'd rather have things just kind of go naturally. And even if they did it the way they did it but didn't notify us first, that would have been a better, you know, more, not even a cliffhanger, but just, you know, so that happened and we're like, oh my god, that's so sad. Is she gonna come back? Is she not? And then you're kind of waiting. I would have just preferred that, kind of like even this last season. So I guess getting into that, I wish that she hadn't, you know, announced she would be coming back. And I know all season we're waiting for it, but we knew she was coming back 100%. Like, so whether she was coming back as her or Catherine, you know, even when they mentioned Catherine, if we hadn't known for sure that Elena was coming back, it would have made the whole last episode just so much more, I don't know, real, I guess. It would have, not real obviously, but it would have made it more exciting. And they did have a lot of people who came back just for moments too, which I thought was sweet. I mean, I would have liked more of a closure. It was just a little bit rushed. We knew it was ending all season, but it still felt rushed to me. I felt like the beginning of the season with the sirens was kind of, they had to have that plot in order to get the devil, in order to get Catherine out of hell. And I felt like that was just, it made sense, but they needed like 2 or 3 more episodes to really, you know, round it all together. I don't even think Elena would have had to come back for all those, just the end, but I think that they could have just covered so much more ground, a bit more spread out, because even the beginning of the last episode I thought, wow, this is really good, but the last 20 minutes is what I was kind of like, okay, this is so unbelievably rushed, and like I'm satisfied with it. I am 100%. There's so many shows that have ended that I was pissed off about, and this isn't one of those. I'm not mad about it. I am definitely satisfied with the ending. It's I want to say it's like 90% what I expected them to do, because I didn't have like a 100% prediction in my head of how they were going to write the last episode, but I did have a feeling they were going to make Damon human and that's how they were going to live. I didn't anticipate the whole Stefan thing, although we should have, because there was a foreshadowing this entire season of it. But so I'm a big, like I said, a Delena fan, so I was kind of happy with that, but I do wish there was more there. I feel like they made the end all about Stefan, which just kind of is annoying. Like, I like Stefan, whatever, but I feel like they made it so much about him, and and they kind of made such a big deal about Elena coming back, and then it really wasn't that much of a big deal. I like how they kind of wrapped it up with like the diary and stuff like that. They kind of pulled that back in the last few seasons to kind of, you know, because we forgot about that in the middle. But other than Elena and Stefan and, you know, Damon and like those main characters, a few of the things that bothered me was when Caroline and Stefan first got together a couple seasons ago, and like that was kind of starting to be a thing. I didn't love it. I honestly, when they skipped the 3 years, Alaric and Caroline were together, I was like, oh my god, I never thought about that. That's perfect. I felt like they were really good together. And of course, before any of this, I liked her with Tyler and I liked her with Klaus. I was so about Caroline and Klaus. It was just like the most not expected thing ever. And I was so for that. So this whole open-ended thing they did with her, I was kind of annoyed about until the last second. So I'm going kind of all over, so I'm sorry about being not organized. So everyone pretty much becomes a human by the end, which is okay, although I love the whole vampire thing, so I would have preferred they just lived on forever as vampires, but that's just me. I was kind of annoyed when Elena wanted to be human. It just like pissed me off. But regardless of that, when we found out everyone was becoming human, so when we found out that Stefan made Damon human, and obviously Elena is human, and every single person is human, Caroline is the only one that's still a vampire. And we know that Caroline loves being a vampire because since before she was a vampire, she had really low self-esteem and she was struggling and she just like wasn't the greatest version of herself, and her becoming a vampire made her better. I thought, okay, so now she's gonna be a vampire. Alaric's gonna die eventually. You know, Elena, Bonnie, Damon, everyone's gonna die eventually. Her kids are gonna get older and she's still gonna be young. So I was really confused, and then they did that whole like letter thing from Klaus, like the check he wrote, and I was like, ooh, now I have to watch the last season of Originals, which is really annoying because I wasn't watching the Originals. I think I watched the first season and I kind of stopped. I heard it was really good though, so I might catch up, I don't know. So I like that they kind of left that there. But in regards to the last episode, I don't even know where to begin. The whole thing with Damon and Stefan, their brotherhood was really great. I thought for the whole last couple episodes, they really focused in on that, and because Elena wasn't around, I thought that was so important because that's something that we saw from the beginning of the show, how much they hate each other and how much they love each other and they disagree, but I loved what they were doing there, and the whole scene when they killed the devil, like I thought that was all really great. I love that Kai came back. I love Kai. He was like one of my favorite bad guys. I also love Chris Wood, most of you know that, like he is one of my all-time favorite actors, and I think he is unbelievably gorgeous, and his role as Kai is just amazing. No matter how evil and cruel, like he's probably one of the most evil of all the evils on the show, but he's so funny and he makes things so funny. But so I loved all of that, but the part at the end, it's like Damon wanted to risk himself to kill Catherine, and I didn't want that to happen obviously because I wanted Elena and Damon to be together, but Stefan just got married, and so now Stefan is dead. We all know this. So he pretty much risked his life to save everyone in the whole town and to kill Catherine, make sure she was dead and in hell forever. My confusion is just when Stefan first became human, so when Bonnie gave him the cure, that whole thing kind of confused me. Maybe I have to go watch back when Catherine got the cure and kind of understand it better, but let me know if I'm completely wrong. Let me know if you can explain this better to me. So when Catherine got the cure, she was fine. She was human. And then someone tried to take it out of her and she started aging really quickly. Is that what happened? Because she was like 300 years old or something. So when Stefan got the cure, I thought, oh my god, is he gonna start aging? Like he's becoming human? Like is he gonna start aging? And he wasn't. But I thought that was kind of odd that he wasn't aging. And then I realized, okay, so maybe he didn't get it taken out of him and that's why he wasn't aging. I guess that's what it was, because he then, you know, takes the cure out of himself to give to Damon so that he, you know, falls over and then he can kill Catherine. And he said, well, I was gonna start aging anyway, so that's why he risked himself, because he was gonna start aging anyway really quickly and probably die in a couple of weeks, because he was also like 100, 200 years old or something. Then when I was thinking, okay, so Bonnie went in to take the cure out of Elena to give it to Enzo, but she wasn't taking all of it out, she just took some of it out, and they could have fed off of her every couple of years or something like that, right? I'm not really sure how that works. I guess they can take it out of Elena because she's still such a young vampire. Like when she was only a vampire for like 4 years, 3 years. So it's not like she was gonna age really fast. If she was, she was gonna age 4 years. That's like how I'm explaining it. It's still so confusing. So now that Damon and Elena are living out their human lives, both with the cure inside of them, I'm just confused too. If they ever get their blood drawn now, isn't that taking the cure out of them? So Elena should be fine, but then Damon, wouldn't he start aging? Also, so Stefan, this whole time, this whole last season where he's been human, he was stabbed right through the stomach, hit no vital organs. He was shot, stabbed in the hand, and he's fine. Dude, if you were shot and stabbed in the stomach, you would have been in the hospital for so much longer. And that whole part where he kept getting hurt as a human should have foreshadowed the ending, but I didn't really see that part coming, which I thought was kind of nice. As much as I'm not loving the ending, like I don't think it was perfect, it was good, and it definitely surprised me. I couldn't completely 100% anticipate it, if that makes sense. I do wonder about the future with their blood and stuff. Like, I'm obviously thinking way too much into it. It's a TV show, but that's the whole point of this video. There's so many shows that ended so abruptly, like Castle, for instance. You know, they had this whole little like montage at the end, which I thought was so unnecessary, and like Charmed even had that at the end. And there's so many shows that kind of do that, like the last like couple minutes they wrap it up with like, this is the next 10 years, and they kind of did that in this, and I didn't like that. You know, if they did do it, I would have liked to see it a different way. I do like that they showed kind of so many people coming back, but do Elena and Damon die at the exact same moment? But then when she dies, she's not with him, she's with her family. There was not enough Delena moments for me. That's what I want to say. As much as I did really enjoy the ending, and I did cry hysterically for the last, pretty much every episode in last season, I did not think that there was enough Elena-Damon romance happening. And that's kind of, I thought, you know, when Elena comes back at the end, that's what we're all waiting for. You know, their proposal, their wedding, their something more epic. And that's what didn't happen, and that's kind of what I was bummed out about. I know a lot of people are team like Stefan and Elena, which is annoying because it's been way too long since they've been together. I don't think that was ever gonna happen, and as much as they were supposed to be together or whatever, no, Damon's way better for her. I don't know, like there just wasn't enough there. And I did read that they did have a proposal scene, but it was removed for time constraints because they were going over by like 20 minutes or something. I appreciated the whole ending. I just didn't like the whole when we die we go to heaven. I felt it was a bit too joyful almost. I would have preferred the Friends ending. A nice close out, rounded off ending, but still just sat there. A nice close off ending where you kind of can see what's gonna happen without forcing that whole like montage. And that's the only part I didn't like, was the montage-ish bit. I liked the part about the school, but I thought beyond that, it was like a bit too much for me. Another thing that's kind of the whole last season, the whole last couple seasons actually, I love Bonnie. Don't get me wrong, I want to say she's like one of my top 2 favorite characters. Bonnie and Damon is right my top 2. And I did love her with Enzo. I thought that was a really great bonding. As much as I love her, and like she is so selfless, not selfish, selfless, and does everything for everyone else and saves everyone's lives all the time, she is kind of the reason all this stuff happened with Kai, at least the second time around. You know, when he merged with his brother and became kind of sympathetic to people, he was getting so much better, and he was the perfect mix of sociopath and not sociopath, and I was loving it. And then, you know, she trapped him in that prison world where he was spending time with Damon's mom and all those heretics, and then he became a heretic or whatever happened, and literally went insane and tried to kill everyone and went even more insane and evil than he was before. And if Bonnie just didn't trap him there, and you could see the look on his face when she trapped him, he was so heartbroken. That's what turned him so evil. And because she trapped him there, that's what led to Elena dying. That's what led to Alaric's wife dying. That's what led to like Elena leaving the show, like all this stuff. And I know that Nina Dobrev wanted to focus on her movie career, but I don't know, like I just feel like she should have come back either for the whole last season or just not come back. I don't know. I have no solid opinions at this point. Also, let's talk about Elena or Nina Dobrev's wig. Come on. They could have done so much better. Just given her extensions or something. Another thing I just saw, I wrote it down, Tyler. So we know that Damon killed Tyler. For the end, he's done, he's gone forever, which was a bummer, I guess. But at that point, Tyler wasn't even on the show anymore. Everyone was like, okay, Elena's never forgive you. He's a friend of ours. That's like if you killed Matt or something, which I would have really liked because I hate Matt. But so we never see Elena's reaction to him doing that. Obviously, she got over it, I'm assuming. I don't know, I just felt like there needed to be more conversation between Elena and Damon. When Damon and Bonnie were trapped in the prison world and Elena had to go on without Damon, that was like not the best, obviously, but when he was first trapped and she was in like the mausoleum and crying, that moment was so raw, epic, and I cried so much I could barely even see the TV that time. And that whole beginning part where she was living without him, obviously he couldn't do that forever because she had been gone for much longer than he had in that circumstance, but that moment where she was just so heartbroken, those moments were so much more what I think the fans wanted, or the fans of Delena anyway. but I would have liked something like that at the end. Stefan died. I felt like there should have been way more heartbreaking stuff happening. I felt like the time where we got to say goodbye to Stefan was so short. We didn't get so much closure there before everyone started moving on and being happy. I don't think it should have ended with Stefan's death, but I think moving on, like opening that school, if they had kids, I would have loved to know if they had kids. I would have liked to see, you know, maybe Alaric and Caroline get together, or someone gets together with Alaric, because Alaric, oh my god, my heart breaks for him. He's been through so much and he just deserves to be with someone who loves him back. It's so sad. I just feel like there's so much more that they could have done. At least do like one more episode or something. They could have added a little bit of closure to each episode instead of like, but I really hope that you enjoyed this video and you agree with me. I want to know your opinions. Let me know what your opinions are, what questions you had, or if you could answer some of mine. You agree with some of the stuff I said? I don't know. Obviously, I'm super bummed this show is over. I think that's all I have to say, right? I probably am gonna edit this and be like, I wish I said that. But whatever, what are you gonna do? But if you like this, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you want to see more from me of this or anything else. I do a million different types of things on my channel, and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching, and bye, Vampire Diaries.